This mountain man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, I'll be darned. Look at this post I found on Utizzle. Do you support Trump revoking green cards and visas of Hamas and supporters and deporting them? Over 100,000 thumbs up. Wow, boy, that's something else. So I don't know. That's the way the public feels. So I'm going to play some videos while y'all get in. I'm multi-streaming on Bumble and YouTube. So do me a favor and hit the thumbs up, and helps people to get to the see the video more. So anyway, let's see how the transmission's doing. I'll play a video.
Democrat open borders plan trench single party rule explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world. Enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
Compassion that she was joking about killing Donald Trump on the Ellen show, the Ellen DeGeneres show.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Criminals off the street, and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible. This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy. Stronger and better than ever before. They're mostly gone. They're all coming back. This is why people in countries want to kill me. They're not happy with me. It's a risky business. This is why they want to kill me. They only kill consequential presidents, remember that. But this is why, if you're one of the countries that's affected, you're not happy with what I'm saying. When they used to say they like Barack Hussein Obama, of course they do, because he did nothing to help us. When they like Biden, who doesn't know he's alive, of course they like him because he does nothing to bring your businesses back. He lets the world rob our country, the robber barons. He lets them rob and steal from our country, and most importantly, he lets them take our jobs. ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give President tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it.
So, folks, how we all doing out there in YouTube land? So, I don't know. I got a thumbnail that might bring some people in who aren't on our side of the fence yet. We shall see. If they come in, let them come in. Don't argue with them or nothing. And don't interfere with the flow of conversation. Just enjoy it, okay? But we may not get anybody at all, right? But we got ourselves. That's the main thing. Hi, Sissy. Hi, Angel. Miss Mindersoo. Wayne's here. Angela. Thank you for my coffee the other night, Angela. Okay, let's clean up Kathy. And Wayne, last week too. Thank you, Wayne. Television shows. I got a bunch of hearts and smiley faces. Kathy's here. Angel's here. Marie. Gary. Chairman of the board. And let's see. Television shows. Yeah, it's nice to see everybody. Bruce. Bruce is in here. Miss Minderson. Well, where did that guy go? He seemed like a nice enough fella. I asked him to clean his name up a little bit. I don't see him. But maybe he's in here on an assumed name. I don't know. Yvonne, how are you doing? Rebecca, Bill. Nice to see you. So, Jess and Beans here. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I know who that is. So, anyway, folks, we had a little shootout with Mr. T and Massey. Massey, right? Yeah, like and subscribe. You'd be glad you did, says television shows. So, anyway, Massey's grandstanding. I had a breakdown of some of the stuff he voted for in the past. Seems like he's always trying to stick a broomstick in a damn MAGA bike spokes, and Trump's calling him out. So he's history. He's history. Speaking of history, I played those clips earlier just to remind you all how close we came to either one of these creatures you see sitting on a chair. If they had gotten in, just remember that, how close we came. And it's not a time for infighting. It's not a time for grandstanding. It's not a time for breaking ranks. Right, Mr. Massey? And you follow the leader. I mean, I put in a comment. Somebody made a comment in one of the posts about Massey. He's trying to do what's best for our country and save money. And he's the only Republican that voted against the continuing resolution bill, but he's voted for past continuing resolution bills. What the hell's up with that? When he had a direct appeal from President Trump to play ball, he said, please give me time and approve this continuing resolution. What's he do? He grandstands, and so I put in there that Massey's voice wouldn't amount to a nit, as my father used to say. And if he was sensitive to language, I apologize. His voice wouldn't amounted to a nit on a mule's ass, my father used to say. If it weren't for Trump, his mouth would mean nothing. You'd have one of these two in charge that are sitting in the chairs there, and all this crazy stuff would be pumped out in the media as normal, okay? And all the good stuff we're seeing would not be happening. And so, yeah, it's not a time to jump ship. Anyway, speaking of good stuff happening, DOJ official says she was fired after dispute over Mel Gibson's gun rights. What happened? What happened? ABC News. Of course, they're going to put it up there like she's a victim of some sort. A top Justice Department official said she was fired one day after she refused to recommend that actor Mel Gibson's access to firearms be restored. She made a statement to ABC News. Yeah, put an egg in your shoe and beat it. In an interview with the New York Times, pardon attorney Elizabeth Oyer said the request to add Gibson's name to a memo of people who should have their gun rights restored came at the last minute, after attorneys for Gibson had written directly to senior DOJ officials. People were putting in this comment thread, shows you the Trump administration is corrupt, blah, 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 blah. The Trump administration is corrupt because they were going to give Mel Gibson his Second Amendment rights back? Not a peep about Biden pardoning his whole family and pardoning his son going back 10 years? It shows you how fevered they are. Fevered. After she refused, Oyer said she received a call from senior official, Deputy Attorney Todd Blanche's office, who repeatedly pressed her to reconsider. Hey, they didn't just pull the trigger. They said, you better think about what you're doing here. And citing Gibson's close personal relationship with Trump. On Friday, Oyer posted on LinkedIn a termination letter from Blanche. Well, you want to die on that hill? Goodbye. Goodbye. If President Trump wants him to have his Second Amendment rights, then there you have it, okay? He's going to get them back. Remember, directly appointed officers, if he wanted to. So anyway, hi, Darla. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, we are in a WAR. That is true. Well, where's Camperman been? You're right, Angel. Where's Camperman been? I hope Camperman's all right. And I remember a good friend of mine from, speaking of that, from back when I first started the channel. He used to be the first one in, I don't know how many times. And his name is Bubba. And if you're out there listening, Bubba, I want you to know I'm thinking about you, and I appreciate your early support for my channel. I hope you're doing all right, my friend. And Rockin' Robin also. I remember people from when I first started the channel. So, today's the day that the Department of Education, everybody was sent a memo by Linda McMahon, the new Grand Poobah, I guess you'd say, director or whatever of the Department of Education, told him, don't come in. Don't come in the office Wednesday for any reason. You will not be granted access. We're taking care of some things for security issues. So I think they're going through everything. I think the Doge team is there. But here's a little levity in the matter. Babylon B says, layoffs delayed as Department of Education unable to calculate what 50% of employees would be. Hi, Andy. How you doing? Welcome aboard. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. That's everybody else in the chats, too. That's a requirement. So, anyway, whoa, I'm sitting here playing around my studio trying to move around, see what we got going on. I can't tell how many thumbs up we've got going on. And we had another break in ranks. Not really, but I think it is. Where'd it go? Wait a minute. This character here, wait a second. This character here, Elon Musk, put out an ABC again. They're trying to stir up trouble. They're, called Senator Mark Kelly a traitor in a post. And they post Kelly's response. Of course, they show him dressed up in some kind of military gear. Traitor, Elon, if you don't understand that defending our freedom is a basic tenet of what makes America great and keeps us safe, maybe you should leave it to those of us who do. Senator Mark Kelly. So I said, what's this dust up here? He went over to Ukraine piddling around right in the middle of these sensitive peace talks. And I said, well, let me check him out. What's his story? Mark Kelly. There he is. Mark Kelly, United States Senator. 61 years old. Gabby Giffords was his spouse, and Amelia Victoria Babis. He's an American politician, retired astronaut, United States Navy captain, serving as senior United States Senator from Arizona. Since 2020. He's a member of the Democratic Party. Well, I'm wondering, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He could be a gray hat. I don't know. But he could be, like television shows says, a McCain clone. We shall see. But Elon called him out pretty early, so he's somebody we got to keep our eye on. Here's another interesting post that was put up. DC Drano. I think this was retweeted maybe by Devin Nunes. I don't know. Okay, this doesn't seem like a coincidence anymore. The day after an InfoWars reporter is red-rummed outside their home, another reporter is swatted at theirs. Chase Geyser said, I just got swatted. So that is another InfoWars person. And just so happened that AJ, I didn't get in trouble yet for playing one of his videos, AJ. So I'll play another one of his. And it's part of the reason why I found those videos from my archives about Trump telling everyone that foreign leaders want him assassinated, right? Hi, Marilyn. How you doing? And remember, the young man who worked for AJ that lost his life yesterday, okay? So let me go ahead and play AJ. And it's no surprise probably to many of you, but there is a strong language warning.
All right, General Flynn tried to call me this morning while I was working out, and I missed his call, but he called my producer and said the same thing, former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. He said from his high-level intel sources, there is a contract out on me, and of course it's tied to the Ukrainians. But this is just emblematic of how desperate they are, and that's NATO through the Ukrainians. Don't forget that it was a NATO operative from America, CIA, recruiting for the Ukrainian war, with the 6 cell phones that Trump talked about last week, and all the passports that tried to kill Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So that's their base of operations. So it's MI6 running NATO, doing this, and anything happens to me, Keir Starmer, Barack Obama, they're running their operations out of there, NATO. And we know it's not just the Ukrainians. It's looking worse and worse that they might have hired a group or something. That's what they do, to send a message to everybody with Jamie. And this is pure intimidation. This is terrorism, and it's all they got left. So this is a fight for America in the future. And like I said, I knew this weeks ago, but was asked not to say anything about it. When I mentioned a little on the air, I got contacted saying, "Hey, man, you know, did you say that because you heard that from us?" I said, "No, I got it from other sources about people coming to town in the last 3 weeks trying to kill Elon." And you know, that's why I was on Rogan talking about, I might get killed, because the teams were here for sure for him. I mean, they stopped him twice that we know of, and they got other crazies they've wound up. And if I told you what happened last night at InfoWars, not just the swatting in the middle of the night of Chase Geiser and his family, but the stuff coming in, I'm probably going to go ahead and cover it at 11 a.m. today. But the left is disgusting, and they're a bunch of pedophile devil worshippers. And we're winning. They're panicking. They don't know what to do. They think intimidating is going to work. Well, how's it worked out for you so far? I'm not scared at all. I am scared of not completing my mission. I've got family to take care of if I get killed. But at the end of the day, we're all destroyed anyways, and we don't stop them. So we all get saved, or none of us do. So I'm not suicidal, love life. And so they kill me in sense of suicide. It's a total lie. But this means we're really winning, because they don't want to turn me into a martyr. They try to demonize me, lie about me, have other rigged court cases, plant child porn on us, all the stuff they did. And now they're losing on every front, and they just don't care. And so they want me dead. And they want you dead with the poison shots and the GMO. Kennedy's moving to take all the poison out of the food right now. Doing a great job. I mean, Trump's for real, folks. Musk is for real. I'm for real. You're for real. 11 a.m. Central, I'll give you big updates on this and more. The globalists are making their move. They don't want you tuning into my show because I know what their next move is. It's incredibly obvious, and that's why I keep predicting what they're going to do next. But they are really pissed at me about that. And they're pissed that Trump's really listening now. Their worst nightmares come true. Remember those old headlines 8 years ago? The new chief of staff's main job is keeping Trump away from Alex Jones' InfoWars. Well, it didn't work. This is the InfoWar. And so you won't stop us one way or another. You're going down, globalist. You're going down, New World Order. So keep running your games, your intimidation. See how it worked out for you. We got God on our side, you Satan worshipers, you fucking pedophiles. Fuck you.
Yeah, he waited till the very end, and he used some very strong language. But I don't know, if I was doing a workout, and I wouldn't miss it. If General Flynn had my number, I would have the phone taped to my forehead. I wouldn't care if I was working out, doing jumping jacks, spooning down by the river with little Susie. I don't care what I'm doing. If General Flynn was to call me and warn me about something, I'd answer the phone. But anyway, little Susie. But anyway, let's see. Here's a nitwit. We got to do what I called sacrificial lambs. And by that, I mean make an example of people. Just like Kash Patel made an example of somebody today. I'll get to that. Somebody in the big office at Border Protection, right? She got in trouble for defrauding the FEMA, right? We'll get to that in a minute, but that's what you do when there's a whole lot of nonsense going on. You pluck a couple out of the herd and you make an example of them. So these people putting these goofball TikToks up, making threats or acting, tough. Make an example of them.
Donald Trump just said that boycotting Tesla was illegal. You know what that means? It's fucking working! Bow! Bow! Guys, boycotting the swastika cars, the Nazi cars, the cars that Nazis drive, it's working. It's working, guys. Keep going. Keep going. Keep vandalizing. I mean, my bad. I don't know, that just slipped out of me. That just slipped out of me. Like how Elon's dick slips out of Trump's hole because it's so fucking loose. So fucking loose, you loose booty hole bitch. Bah.
Yeah, it's really working. Really working. Where's that jerk? Here he is. This is the one I was thinking more of a sacrificial lamb. Look at this idiot. Look at this idiot. How about, I don't know, how much time should they get for a dopey video like this? How much time should they get? Make an example of them.
It's looking like I might have to take one for the team, y'all. Everybody's been asking who's going to do it. Honestly, truly, I ain't got nothing else to lose. So what's up? Yeah, no. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I promise. I'm still here. I'm still here. See, the problem with that person didn't have the right plan. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
He's talking about Ryan Ruth didn't have the right plan, but he's got the right plan, I guess. So I don't know. How much time should somebody like that get? Oh, television shows ones will go away for life. I mean, we'd have to have all these little dopey, juvenile idiots doing tough talk. I mean, how many are there? I mean, thousands? Thousands? I'm just looking through the chats. It's amazing. I mean, the world's turned upside down. Well, at least part of the world. It's a much smaller part and getting smaller every day. When you get people celebrating Tesla, like that one I played before, shooting off little confetti guns, these are the same types that wouldn't even clap for DJ, the kid with cancer, or wouldn't have any respect for the parents who lost their kids. This is a post one of these sickos put up. Let me find it. Calling, well, I don't know if I got it at my studio or not. Here it is. Here it is. Look, there he is, getting his honorary Secret Service thing. Look at what one of these 8.1 million views. What was the post? Right-wing cope says, "Hey, Doge, I have a DEI hire to report." That's supposed to be funny. Never mind how the kid is struggling with cancer. Here is what I didn't get to put up yesterday. It slipped through the cracks. Tulsi Gabbard. I put up a post that got taken down on Truth Social, if you believe that. And it was this post right here. I'll show it to you all in a minute. It says, per POTUS's directive, I have revoked security clearances and barred access to classified information for Antony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, Lisa Monaco. Remember Lisa Monaco? Trump put her in his truth, and he said that Lisa Monaco was the boss of Merrick Garland. And she was the boss of Jack Smith, even though she was the assistant, attorney general. So Lisa Monaco, Mark Zaid, that's a new one me. Norm Eisen, I've heard of him before. We all know about Letitia James. We all know Alvin Bragg. Andrew Weissman, I called him Mr. Sweaty Man, remember? Boy, is he shaking his boots, along with the 51 signers of the Hunter Biden disinformation letter. The president's daily brief is no longer being provided to former President Biden. Well, he probably doesn't even remember. But Perkins Coie is going to court. They've been their access to any White House assistance or office space or anything has been denied. And they're claiming that's going to destroy their law firm. It's going to destroy their law firm. I say great, because they have tortured many people on our side, okay? Trying to have people disbarred and making complaints, specious complaints. Here it is right here. Here's the truth I put up. I said, a partial pre-indictment list. This was on Truth. Where is it? Truth Social, right there. And Patriot Chickens retruth my post. And it says, this is unavailable. Truth is unavailable. I very seldom have a post removed on Truth. Isn't that odd? A pre-indictment list. It was just a question. So anyway, let me go over some of this fun and games we're dealing with. Well, since I mentioned it, I'll go ahead and put this up. Breaking FBI Director, this was from Benny Johnson. I had a video from Fox News, but this pretty much says it all anyway. Kash Patel announces a director at U.S. Customs and Border Protection has been charged for attempting to receive fraudulent funds from FEMA and providing false information to federal authorities. Well, that's what you call a sacrificial lamb. She, from my understanding, she didn't attempt to get funds. She did get funds. She made an application for relief that her house was affected by a storm or other natural disaster. And an inspector came by and found her basement had been damaged. I don't know if it could have been a sewer backup, flooding. I'm not sure. But they got a award for, I guess, fixing safe, to make it safe. What is it? Safe and sanitary conditions. And they also got money for alternate housing of some sort, a hotel, and utility bills while their house was being repaired or restored or refurbished or whatever, up to safe sanitary conditions. And that's why I'm thinking it might be something like a sewer backup, who people, have that happen in your basement. It's a little rough upstairs, So, but it turned out she didn't go to a hotel, cash the checks. This is what I heard. It's not verified. And then later fibbed about it somehow to people checking into stuff. So it's just giving them a taste of what's to come, I think. And this was a Fox News report that said what I was saying last night about BLM. Removes Black Lives Matter plaza. They didn't just paint over it. They tore it up. And I showed you all the video where they were jackhammering those bricks up. And because you can't replace the bricks just where the letters were, because the different tone in the bricks from weathering and age will still show the words. So they had to rip that whole thing up. I hope that there's some clawback of the costs of that from those characters of Black Lives Matters who bought themselves mansions and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, let's go. Let's take a look at what's going on with some of this foreign stuff. Since I put Russia to decide, or is going to decide, a question mark, what are they going to do? There is a proposal for a 30-day ceasefire, okay? And the Ukrainians have agreed to it, and they say that Zelensky gave Trump a private letter apologizing for his noxious behavior at the White House, which, of course, the liberals would think that his behavior was perfectly fine, but we know better. So I don't know what's going to happen with Putin. We'll see. But it seems like he's kind of in the catbird seat right now. Here, if that's not a body double, what do you all think? It's Putin. During a meeting at the headquarters of the Kursk Group of Forces, Russian President Vladimir Putin wore a military uniform for the first time since 2021. And just like Mr. T put out in his truth that the Russians are pounding the Ukrainians. And I got a short clip, where is that? Of where they are clearing out of the occupied territory. When I get around to it, I'll get to it. The occupied territory in Ukraine. Because those guys got into that utility pipe and went 10 kilometers behind the lines, okay, special forces. And, you try walking 10 kilometers in a 3-foot 10 diameter pipe, and it's not easy going, but they did it. And they got to drop on them and turn the tide of that incursion into Russian territory. But anyway, here's some comments from Putin. Russia will treat Ukrainian soldiers captured in the Kursk region as terrorists, Putin said. Foreign mercenaries are not covered by the Geneva Convention, says Putin. More than 600 military personnel took part in the operation to pass through the pipeline in Sudza with the veterans Akhmat, 11th Brigade and 30th Regiment, particularly distinguished, the General Staff reports. It was heroic, and they're being lauded for that. So, reports, this is from Bloomberg, so take it for what it's worth. Putin likely to drag out Ukrainian truce talks to seek his terms. Okay, Putin will likely agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine, but will set conditions, Bloomberg writes, citing sources. Who's the sources? Maybe Kelly? I don't know. Among the conditions mentioned is, in particular, the cessation of arms supplies to Ukraine. Sources also believe that Putin will try to delay the ceasefire negotiations in order to achieve the most favorable conditions for Moscow. Well, that means clearing out Kursk, at the very least. Here is a picture. I didn't copy the video. TikToks are hard to copy. Finally, anti-drone ammo. They modified these bullets. Probably, 223s, or what are they? See, they made them like little shotguns when you have a drone coming at you. Evolution of anti-drone ammo. So they're mass producing this because the drones for both sides have been very effective. I think I got some footage. I'll pull that up in a minute. let's see. You know, maybe you don't, but maybe you do. Just before, on the eve of the peace talks, Ukraine launched the largest drones attack on Moscow to date. And during the peace talks, Russia retaliated. Anyway, let me see here. Yeah. A missile strike was carried out on the Druzhba Hotel in Kryvyi Rog. The Ukrainian armed forces and their command were located there. There's a quick video of this. It's just where you see a big boom, for about 3 seconds. And that's what it was. U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy, Keith Kellogg, has been removed from negotiations to resolve the military conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Politico reports. We know that Politico takes a lot of money from U.S. aid, so we don't know if they're trying to stoke the notion of division in the Trump administration or not. But they claim Keith Kellogg has been removed from negotiations. So we'll keep that in our memory bank, right? Let's see. I'll get to this in a minute. This is another, I thought it was another building got hit. That's something about these damn judges. We'll get to that in a second. But speaking of stoking divisions, I don't know the veracity of this report. Here we got Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. Breaking, FBI Director Kash Patel has reportedly requested a direct, secure line from his home and FBI office to the Oval Office, bypassing Attorney General Pam Bondi and the traditional chain of command. Per the Wall Street Journal. I don't know. How can we trust the Wall Street Journal? I don't know. We're just keeping an eye on what they say and what they do, right? Let's see. I had that drone footage. Here we go. This is just a short clip. This shows you how much control they have over these drones. Most of everybody in the chat saw the one where the lady was taking her garbage out. And, I'm inclined to agree. Television shows might not have a thing to do with Pam Bondi, but the gatekeepers or people that might be spying on Pam Bondi, right? We don't know. But anyway, I'll go ahead and play this. I was talking about the lady taking her trash out, and the drone was just getting ready to hit this military vehicle, and the drone operators spotted this old lady taking her trash to the dumpster and stopped the drone and waited till she left and then blew the military. Remember that? I showed you all that. But anyway, here we go. That shows you. Nowhere is safe. They had that thing tucked away, a howitzer, looked to me like. And I'll play it again. They just snuck. Yeah, if they had got props hung up on that screen, that would have been it. Mission failed. But, man, they zipped it right in there. They probably didn't. Here is the guys leaving one of the villages en masse. Remember, those of you who have been with me for a long time remember what I described, that commanders generally leave what they call a golden bridge. A golden bridge. And one way out, a escape route. Always give them a way to run, get the hell out, to slow down fighting. And that's apparently what's going on here. It's just a short clip of people running around.
Вот они отъебывают, ебать, нихуя, сколько их там? 12, 13. Ну-ка, дали, где это? Дальше бегут, да? Это вот по вот этой улице, которая к церкви идет.
So apparently, and there's a lot of videos I can't show you, still pictures I can't show you. The drone footage might be from a game. I don't know. You find out which game has got that howitzer inside a garage, and I'll believe you. But a lot of footage I've seen, just like the footage with the people in Syria, is no way is fake. I mean, it's so horrible. I saw another report from Christian Broadcasting Network that shows you just how cynical people can get over that kind of loss of life. But maybe I'll copy that and play it one day for an analysis. But here's an aerial view of refugees coming to the Russian, one of the Russian air bases. Satellite images of the Russian Kimian air base show the scale of the rescue operation carried out by the military to ensure the safety of civilians in Syria's Latakia. Thousands of people, mostly women and children, took refuge at the base from the massacres of the Alawites and Christians carried out by militants of the new security forces in the coastal region. So, I'm sure not as many people made it to those bases as we would like, but at least there was some form of help. Now, this character, Mahmoud Khalil, attorneys in court today. As I've said before, part of having a civilized society is trying to be able to have people go through their lives without dealing with or even thinking about the type of things that are going on in the Congo, in Syria, in many places around the world. Man's inhumanity to man. And here we've got this individual stoking up problems over here on a green card, thinking, oh, I've got, a student visa. Now I got a green card. Well, the green card gets revoked. It's revoked. And his attorneys have successfully got a judge. Oh, which one is it? Beryl Howell. You remember that one, don't you? Seems to be the same judge's names popping up over and over. She said it sent a chill down her back. Was it that or the Mark Elias situation? She said the removal of Perkins Coie access to the White House and disallowing their special treatment sent a chill down her back. Now, if there's a different judge that's dealing with this Mahmoud Khalil attorneys, I'm not sure which way the ball's going to bounce on this. One day ahead of a court hearing for Mahmoud Khalil, the Palestinian activist who was arrested by Immigration Customs Enforcement on Columbia University's campus, despite possessing a green card. I think this was ABC that reported this. It doesn't matter. But anyway, they make it seem like his rights are being violated. One reporter on MSNBC was saying Trump was going to outlaw protests of American businesses, which is not at all the case. But anyway, his wife and attorney both released statements shedding more light on his detainment in the final days leading up. Khalil's wife, who is 8 months pregnant, issued a statement speaking on the outpouring. Well, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, okay? But anyway, got a lot of love and support and all that. Yeah. Oh, thank you. We support you for wanting to have violent protests, pick on Jewish people trying to get to class, shutting down colleges, stoking vitriol. Yeah, thank you. But anyway, they wanted him to be home for the baby to be born. Well, they've already said that she's welcome to go with him. They can stay together. She's far enough out from her pregnancy. She can handle a flight. Okay? You guess we'll, stay together, stay together. In it, she said Khalil begged Columbia University for legal support one day before his arrest, explaining he was fearful that ICE might target him. Well, I think he reflected on some of the videos that were circulating with him yelling and screaming into microphones for people to rise up. Listen, standing for Palestine or supporting Hamas, that is a spiderweb thin line. Spiderweb thin line. And most of you probably know this, but they're not sending him to Palestine. He's going to Syria. That's where he came from. Syria. And they were shipped out of Palestine to Syria because of agitation. Remember I said that the Jordanians don't want Palestinians, that these Egyptians don't want them, the Saudis don't want them, because they raise hell everywhere they go. So, boy, talk about screwing yourself. After the videos I've been seeing on what's happening in Syria, there ain't no place I'd want to be. But it's this continuous business of stern political animus. For one side, you're coming to America, live in America, and mind your business and raise your family and have a good life. That's why we created the government we created. Do these characters think George Washington, when everything was done with the Constitution, and he sits back and goes, "Okay, good. Now let's all go over to the Middle East and start farting around and to take the nation's wealth and go get involved." No. The order of the day then was, and George Washington's advice was, to avoid foreign conflagrations, okay? So they come over here and they were given a gift, a big gift of entry into this country. And they pissed it away. Excuse my choice of words there, but that's exactly what he did. And he's not going to be able to come back. They're not going to be able to stop his deportation. Okay? He saw a void in this country where he wanted to be the face of Palestinian resistance. And, well, I guess lucky you're the face of it. Happening now. This is Libs and TikTok. Leftist activists stage an insurrection at the New York State Capitol to protest Tom Homan. I don't know if y'all saw Tom Homan. He walks by real quick. He's taking a bite out of an apple and kind of laughing at all these weirdos. They're really mad at Tom Homan is facilitating the arrest and deportation of criminal illegal aliens who invaded our country. An illegal literally set a woman on fire in New York. This is what they want. But this is what they were Tom Homan is coming in there for a hearing. Hi, Elohim. How you doing? Coming in for a hearing, and they were raising hell and putting up their goofball signs. Let's see. I'll just go right through. Some of the stuff's out of order. But you all don't mind if I go through stuff out of order, do you? Does any of you all live? Where is this? In New Jersey. Who's Mayor Sayeg? Sayeg. You know, Trump met with the Italian president or prime minister or whatever. I mean, the Irish. I'm sorry, Irish. What am I thinking about? And I'm saying to myself, boy, if this guy shows up with a turban on his head, I don't know what I'm going to do. In Ireland? But they're getting that way too. But anyway, Mayor Sayeg declared Paterson, New Jersey, is the capital of Palestine in the United States, where we proudly raise the Palestinian flag, where we have proudly renamed Main Street Paterson, New Jersey. Oh, Tony Soprano would be spinning. But anyway, where we have proudly renamed Main Street Palestine Way, and where we celebrate Palestine Day on Palestine Way. A shocking transformation is unfolding in Paterson, New Jersey, where local officials are rapidly reshaping the city into an Islamic stronghold. Once a beacon of American industry and blue-collar resilience. So, let's hope we're not too late to stem this flow. Oh, here's people in the chats don't trust DC Drano. They don't trust Alec Jones. They don't trust Pam Bondi. They don't trust. Well, here's DC Drano again. Now, it's weird because I don't trust him either. But Mr. T has retruthed him. Mr. T has retruthed him. But remember that little short clip I played of Mr. T where he said, I don't trust anybody. Whoa, a House staffer was caught with a GUN heading to Trump's State of the Union. What? And this is the fourth time an incident like this happened. In one of these events, the person had a concealed GUN just feet from Trump. U.S. Capitol Police needs a new chief, ASAP. This can't be allowed to happen again. That's kind of why my opening videos had that theme, right? Had that theme. So, I don't know. I didn't copy this video because I don't want to hear her mouth. But we were to pay attention to resignations, right? Or people stepping down. New Hampshire Democrat Janine Shaheen has announced she will not seek re-election. New Hampshire. Well, where is this person here from? Let me see. Because we got to get voter ID. Because I don't believe half these people would be in office. This Shaheen woman, this character here, Representative Sarah McBride. This is ABC making a pity party. There it is up in the corner, ABC News, making a pity party for Sarah McBride, the guy that goes to Congress dressed like a woman. That guy. No matter how I'm treated by some colleagues, nothing diminishes my awe and gratitude at getting to represent Delaware in Congress. It is truly the honor and privilege of a lifetime. I simply want to serve and try to make this world a better place. Well, I can't help it that Dysphoria is considered a psychological illness. That's not my fault. Okay? And I have the right to acknowledge what I see with my eyes. Okay? And I can't be forced to call an apple an orange. Okay? I wouldn't go out of my way to offend this person or make them angry or try to humiliate them, but I'm entitled to my thoughts and my opinions on the matter. And I don't think the person is mentally capable, mentally stable enough to be a adequate representative. But there was a little incident. I wonder if I got that on video. Was a little incident where, here we go, where a chairman of some committee in Congress referred to Sarah as Mr. McBride. Now, that was already on the floor of the House. That's all been ironed out, that the official position of the government of the United States of America is that there are two genders, male and female. But anyway, you all probably seen it, but we'll watch it again.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr. Chairman, could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply...
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America, please?
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Well, he had a lot more patience than I had adjourning the meeting. But there's a lot of nuance to this little 60-second clip, or 59 seconds, or however long it was. She responded by calling him Madam Chairman, being snotty. Okay? So Sarah, or he, that guy, really won because they disrupted the meeting. They had the meeting canceled and had that character show his rear end and try to grandstand for the that guy. So, plus Sarah got to call the chairman Madam as a form of slur. Okay, the chairman said Mr. McBride because that is the way our government works. It doesn't matter what you want to dress up as. Now, the high road may have been to say, Representative McBride, you can speak, which would put a stop to it. But I wouldn't have concluded the meeting. I would have told that guy said he tried to pull a rabbit out of his hat from back in the 1950s, where a congressman said to Senator McCarthy, "Have you no shame?" That is a very famous statement to Senator McCarthy, who was trying to find out how many communists we had in our government. And he was discredited by the media, hounded by the media. All the congressmen, many of the congressmen turned on him, and he died a broken man. And it turns out he was exactly right. So this guy tries to act like that senator from long ago who started the attacks on Senator McCarthy. Have you no shame? I said, I got sense. I have sense. I'm sorry you don't. Now continue with the meeting. If you're going to disrupt it, you leave. And Mr. McBride say what you want, or you can leave too. Anyway, here's Mr. T. Mr. President Donald J. Trump taking a look at his brand new Tesla. It's a nice color. I like that color. Matches his tie.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. That's beautiful. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer. That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah, it's just a brake and an accelerator.
I don't want to.
You give Secret Service a heart attack.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Can you start it?
Should I?
Oh, it's so do you want to actually drive it?
You don't want me to drive it, do you?
I saw Biden do a.
I'll tell you, it could be.
Once in the Jeep.
Yeah,
It's very easy to drive.
That's. You're the only one that saw it.
So it's like driving a golf cart, basically.
Very simple.
It's very simple. So it's literally like the golf cart that goes really fast. There's no gears.
This is really amazing. It's really amazing. Let's take a look at it.
See, moments like this are so genuine. I mean, this is what is drawing people to start looking at Trump that didn't like him before. He's being genuine. He's saying, should I drive it? Oh, it's beautiful. You feel like you're there with him looking at the car. And yeah, I noticed that it's got a white interior. Remember the Chinese lady that played the video last night? I said, look at that seat. she looked like a peanut sitting in that seat. And, it's a big help to Elon Musk, and it is a way for Americans to see Trump in a real, genuine situation. I mean, another one bought? Who was it? Got a car, a Tesla. That's gonna. I got a picture of it. Oh, if I can find it, I will. But Sean Hannity bought one. Now, I know a lot of people, Sean Hannity turns people off, but he bought one. And, hey, we'll get back in the saddle and help Elon out. Well, I had a white interior in a Lincoln, Bill, and I really enjoyed it. I know it's tough to keep them clean, but white leather is not hard to keep clean. Take a break. Are you going to step away for a while, Gary? It's just getting good. It's just getting good. When you think about all those people that Tulsi Gabbard shut off their security clearance, when you think about Perkins Coie getting smacked in the mouth, this guy getting deported, it's all setting it up for even more actions. And the thing the media is quiet about is Linda McMahon and the Department of Education. And I know a lot of you don't trust Mike Pompeo. I don't either. But he was asked 3 or 4 years ago, what was the biggest enemy in the government of the United States? And he said the Department of Education. You don't hear anything in the mainstream media about the fact that they were all told yesterday, don't come in today. For any reason, you will not be granted access for security purposes. And they have got to be puckered. I was going to say doing something in their pants. They're probably doing that too. But they're probably doing something in their pants. And can you imagine? You're sitting at home and you get an email. Don't come into your office. We're doing something for security purposes. You won't be allowed in even if you show up. Holy cow, what did you leave in your desk? What did you leave in your computer? What is on your emails? Oh my God. hard to say. They're going to go in there with an electronic wet vac and suck every bit of information out of that Department of Education computer system as possible. Remember what Elon said about the different departments. They are antiquated systems. They can't even communicate with each other. They know the types of systems. They're like a Tesla overtaking a Model T. I'll put it that way. So it's just getting good with all the stuff we're seeing. The domestic upheaval and stuff we're uncovering. Look at Lincoln Project. Put this video up. And I made a comment. Look at the thumbnail. What a minute 42 video. But they got 243,000 views. Trump and Musk claim to be slashing wasteful and frivolous spending. Apparently, they see taking care of our veterans as wasteful, so they would rather abandon them. I put in the comments, I hope every attorney that's affiliated with this channel loses their license. And I know they probably got me flagged and take it down, but this is the kind of crap. If they can't talk about eggs, by the way, eggs dropped 30% in the last 2 days, 30% in prices, and it's going to keep going. But they do everything they can to incite. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, Trump's USDA cuts funding to Maine universities over defiance of trans athletes policy. So they've got people still resisting and still allowing men to play against women. And let me tell you what's going to happen with that. Somebody's going to get hurt. And people are going to get their eyeballs sued out of their heads. Yeah, that's right, Jersey Joe. How you doing? Andy, how you doing? It's dropping way faster than they thought it would. Gas prices. When things turn around, it's going to come roaring back. Gavin Newsom is doing his podcast and trying to make a push for a possible presidential run in 2028. How much you want to bet that he gets indicted before then? He may try to declare a run for the presidency to forestall an indictment. But anyway, Newsom extends free health care to 700,000 illegal immigrants despite record budget deficit. How much? No goggling. No goggling. I want y'all to take a crazy guess. How much of a deficit does the state of California have right now? How much money are they in the red for? And I'll do the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'll give you all some time to think about it. No goggling. One state. Todd, you must have a computer sewn into your head. Is it that much? Oh, Miss Middleton said 66 billion. Todd said 38 billion. So it's somewhere, is it somewhere between 38 and 66 billion? Sissy said 20 billion. Jersey Joe said 70 billion. Ask Fancy. I don't know. It's in the billions. Todd said he thinks he heard 38. All right, let's the last round to get your guesses in. I'll do the music. Dun 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 boom. Okay, the last one was Maryland. Well, it's a 20-second delay, so a few of you might get in. We got an 80 billion. Theodosius says no clue. All right, let's see what it says. On Monday, California became the first state to expand Medicaid to include all illegal immigrants residing in the state, flooding the state's Medicaid program, Medi-Cal, with as many as 700,000 illegal immigrants, despite a record $68 billion state deficit. Andy got $68 billion. Who else got $68 billion? Miss Minnesota said 66. Ha ha. Can you believe that? I mean, come on now. When I was coming up, when I was in my salad days, that was a deficit for the federal government. You get a Cupid doll, Miss Minnesota, a Cupid doll. Remember those at the fair? You knock the bottles over, you get a Cupid doll. As soon as I find one, there's one around here somewhere. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to find out about the $1 billion for the train that never got built, the billions of dollars that were sent to control forest fires that never were controlled, and I think we'll be looking at Gavin Newsom being indicted over something. But he'll try to get out of it by becoming a presidential candidate. This was put up by, I've never heard of her. Have you all heard of Attorney General Liz Muriel? Liz Muriel, is she out of New York? I don't know. Most all of New York's crooked, so I don't know. But providing aid and support for terrorist organizations is a violation of the privilege of the United States of America granted this individual. Hamas is a terrorist organization. We gave, there you go, Muhammad Kali a gift, and he squandered it. I said he PP'd it away, but she said squandered. See, you know, he wanted to be internet famous. He got his green card, and he thought he was all that. Okay, he wanted to be the David Hogg of Palestinians. I mean, who knows what he is? He was living in Syria. Palestine is not even a country. They had a representative contact the court on the behalf of this character here, and he said he represented Tiberius Palestine. Tiberius Palestine. That goes back to the Roman Empire. And Tiberius started the term Palestine to tax that location. Okay? And the Romans were the one who tore down the Second Temple in 70 AD. I think Tiberius was before the fall of the Second Temple. So it was still Jerusalem, Israel. But for bookkeeping purposes, for Tiberius Caesar, they named it Palestine. Never been a country. Oh, I put this up. I thought this was cool. Trump reposted this video. He said, wow. And I played this yesterday during my opening. And he reposted it again today. Ha ha ha. That was cool. What's this one here? Oh, what's this? Oh, this is something Devin Nunes put up. Joe Biden FAA stonewalled one-time air traffic control candidates on internal documents. They want to prove they were excluded because they're white. The new at-real Donald Trump team has reversed the FAA's DEI-like edicts in 2013. They stonewalled, Biden FAA stonewalled. Years before diversity and equity and inclusion became the official woke battle cry for race-based everything, the FAA suddenly began hiring up based on skin color. So lawsuits are starting to fly, and not only for DEI, but it's going to be for the JAB. I've been telling people who are on the left side of the fence, I'm saying, look, if you may, I hate to sound like a lawyer's commercial, but you may be entitled to compensation if blah, blah, blah. Don't knock what they're trying to do, Bobby Kennedy and Trump, because people have been injured by the stuff that goes in your shoulder. Here's Jack Posobiec responded to these attempts by the left to make it seem like Trump's going to pardon Derek Chauvin to try to stir up more trouble and be divisive with Trump. And this is a good take. He says, real talk. What Derek Chauvin needs is a new trial with a fair jury. And that's fair enough. A federal pardon would put him back in state prison with a massive target on his back for the next 11 years. Because some of the things he was charged for were state charges Trump can't pardon him for. But he ends up with this. Floyd's heart tumor wasn't even entered into evidence at the trial. I never knew he had a heart tumor. So maybe he'll get another trial. Posobiec was putting up some good stuff today, so I copied it. Info reports Jamie Wright. This is a kid who was SHOT, turns out. We didn't know what happened. We heard from Alex Jones, all there was a lot of BLOOD, okay, the red stuff all over the parking lot. Well, it turns out he was fatally shot by suspects burglarizing his car, is what the police say. Detectives believe the police were possibly burglarizing White's vehicle when he interrupted them. The suspects fled the scene. So apparently they don't even have suspects. And I'm not going to believe that. I believe he was taken out, like Seth, and then the other half is Rich. Laura Loomer keeping this stoked up, and she should. Because what did Trump say today? He said he was going to find out who was behind these protests and violent protests and property damage with the Teslas. And I'm sure he's considering with the college campuses too. Who's behind that? Who's financing it? He said they were going to be miserable. They're going to be sorry, okay? He's going to get to the bottom of it. Exclusive. Reid Hoffman linked to funding organizations tied to violent protests at Tesla dealership. Reid Hoffman, hey, that's who Elon said by name was freaking out over the Epstein list. When he was talking to Tucker Carlson, Elon said Reid Hoffman by name. A prominent Democrat and donor associate of the late Jeffrey Epstein has been linked to funding organizations tied to violent protests at Tesla dealerships. Maybe he'll be getting indicted. Diamond and Silk, what'd they come up with today? Troubling expenses. Remember how every time you turned on the television, MSDNC would be saying, the walls are closing in on Donald Trump. On Donald Trump, the walls are closing in. Tonight, the walls are closing in. Well, now here you got this torrent of stuff coming out about all these heavy-hidden liberal activists, okay? All the stuff I talked about, what Kash Patel did, what Tulsi Gabbard did, what happened with Perkins Coie, Reid Hoffman. Now we have troubling expense. AOC faces call for investigation after a new ethics complaint. She's already got one against her, and she's also being checked out for aiding and abetting illegal immigrants, right? She's being investigated for that. A government accountability group is calling for an official investigation into Cortez's over allegations she may have misused taxpayers' fund for campaign-related expenses. Listen, they can sit there and put not just the nation, but the world on freeze, trying to put Donald Trump away in prison for 34 felony counts for one situation with Stormy Daniels where that payment was under legal expenses. What do you think they're going to find with AOC? Yeah, and her dance classes. Yeah. Oh, my. Rosie, Rosie O'Donnell is so distraught that Trump is her president, she moved to Ireland. I didn't want to sit there and waste my time with a 9-minute clip of Rosie O'Donnell. But I tell you what, Trump was meeting with the Irish president today, and I thought to myself, boy, he got to be mad at Trump sending Rosie O'Donnell. Talk about a trade deficit. Talk about dumping waste. So, now somebody asked him about it. Here you go. Somebody asked Trump about it in the Oval Office, about Rosie O'Donnell. And there's the Irish Prime Minister. And thank goodness he didn't have a turban on. Man, what are you...
Ireland is known for very happy, fun-loving people. Great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
That's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr.
Do you know you have Rosie
expecting? Are you expecting?
Do you know who she is?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
You're better off not knowing.
President Trump,
I thought it was great he didn't know who she was. People like Rosie, they feed off being liked, or known. Here is, did you all see this? Now, these people here shouldn't be hard to identify, right? For once, they're not wearing masks. These are beat up old liberal hippies, and they're pouring paint on a Tesla robot. Think they can afford it, especially if they're going to be losing their federal jobs. They're probably retired, living like kings on federal retirement benefits. But you think they can afford what they're probably going to get hit with for a lawsuit for doing this? I hope that they do. Lunatics. Here, you want to see some lunatics? I'll cover the big fat lunatic up. Here is all the hell raising for this guy that's getting deported. This is all over Mahmoud What's-His-Face. This is what these people got out of bed for. Now, they're not going to tell me that these people aren't organized and paid somehow. This is all going to tie back to the Tesla stuff and what's going on here. Probably have links to J and then 6, okay, that operation. But anyway, here they are.
Administration's attack on our rights. No matter what you think about, no matter what your political views are, you should care about this issue because you should care that your First Amendment rights are actively being stripped from you. Our students now. Eyes off our campus now. Eyes off our campus now. Release
They're doing geo-tracking on the cell phones that are present at these events. And it turns out a lot of them are the same ones that show up at Kamala Harris rallies. They get bussed from place to place, right? Now, I tell you what, if y'all got time, I got a couple of clips I want to play for you. Jesse Waters. We're going to go over time a little bit. Y'all don't mind, do you? Did some of y'all get puked out and leave? I hope not. Because I'm telling you, it's just getting good. It's just, and we know they're not going to go without a fight, right? Yeah, First Amendment rights. Yeah, right. But anyway, I will interrupt here and there. This let me see. I got to get my headphones for that. I got to make sure I can hear it. But this is a report by Jesse Waters. And, you know, people are going to get puked out listening to MSNBC. And Fox News is growing and growing and growing. So I'm glad they're getting into the deep dive with this stuff. Let me go ahead and play it. And if it stops for a second, that's me getting ready to cut my mic on and say something. But anyway, let me go ahead and play it.
Trump went car shopping today.
Hello, President Trump. Are you looking to buy or lease today?
Well, I'm going to buy. And I'm going to buy because, number one, it's a great product, as good as it gets. Now, here's the bad news. I'm not allowed to drive because I haven't driven a car in a long time, and I love to drive cars. But I'm going to have it at the White House, and I'm going to let my staff use it. I'm going to let people at the place use it. And they all are all excited about that. I'm not allowed to use it. Can you believe it?
Watch out, ladies. If you see a Tesla whipping around D.C. next week, it might be Stephen Miller. And Trump just laid his eyes on a red one.
Should I get in?
Get in.
Okay.
Have you ever sat
Let me get in
steering
a
wheel
second.
of one of these? Of a Tesla?
You want my notes?
Yeah.
They gave me notes. I said, I'm not Biden. I don't need notes. I'll watch Secret Service go crazy. Thank you.
I mean, if you actually drove it around, it would really be wild.
Beautiful.
You got to remind people that he's not Biden. Look, he's done more in a month than Biden has done it. I mean, yeah, 1 month than he's done in a year.
You don't want me to drive it, do you? This is really amazing. Think Biden could get into that car?
Binder used to say, why would Biden buy an EV? Presidents don't drive. Well, Trump doesn't drive either, and he just paid sticker price for one. He should have haggled. Whatever happened to the art of the deal? The Democrats saw Trump buy a Tesla on the White House lawn and said the car's ugly, and it's the most corrupt administration in American history. Democrats are mad that Trump's promoting EVs. It's what Biden did for 4 years.
Mr. President.
This sucker's quick.
How does it compare to the Corvette?
It's a beautiful car, but I like the Corvette.
Biden gave billions to Detroit to build EVs and then gave Americans $8,000 in rebates to buy one. But he didn't buy one. He said he liked his Corvette better because the way the engine purred. The only reason 47's buying a Tesla is because Democrats are firebombing them.
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. When you heard an American company, especially a company like this, supplies so many jobs that others are unable to do, when you do that, those people are going to go through a big problem when we catch them. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
Liberals said EVs were going to save the planet. Now they're lighting them on fire. I can't even keep up with these people. Any American...
That was a message for Reid Hoffman. You're going to go through hell, buddy. And I see what people are saying in the chats.
Well, yeah, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, Miss Bender Sue, and we got to try to support him when we can. But anyway, let me let Jesse keep going.
Company that comes under attack by domestic terrorists, the president, whoever it is, should buy the product. If liberals were vandalizing Pizza Hut, the president has to get some deep dish delivered. Teslas are made in America. They don't make them in Mexico. That's the whole point of Trump's trade agenda. Made in America by American. Create jobs and boost wages.
What is your message, President Trump, buying a new car while there are some folks who will see this clip at home and they are struggling with their retirement accounts down at the moment, uncertainty about work ahead?
Well, I think they're going to do great. I think our country had to do this. We had to go and do this. They've taken away, other countries have taken away our business. They've taken away our jobs. This economy, in my opinion, is going to blow it away. But what I have to do is I have to get the workers back. I have to get the factories open. We gave it away. Presidents before me gave it away, and I could name every one of them. But they gave it away, and we're taking it back.
Globalization benefited multinational corporations, kept the stock market high, kept prices low. But it decimated around 100,000 American factories and sent 5 million manufacturing jobs overseas. That's why we call it the Rust Belt. Working class, middle American towns collapsed when the jobs left. Families fell apart. The birth rate dropped, and the drugs took over.
For ages, hot molten steel has been the lifeblood of Johnstown, vigorously pumping dollars and jobs through the city's veins. But now the pulse of the community is in cardiac arrest.
Bethlehem officials aren't making any more comments than what's contained in this press release. They're sorry, but it's simply not cost effective to run the mill any longer.
Y'all remember the term Bethlehem steel? Bethlehem steel, that's what they're talking about, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And remember, when they closed down the last plant in America that could smelt lead, I was saying we were the only industrialized country that could not even smelt their own lead, one of the most primitive metals we had access to over history. And overnight batteries for a car doubled in price. This is why.
It does hurt, and there's a dramatic spin-off that's going to come from that, and there's going to be a lot of problems that have to be solved.
In part, Bethlehem cites fierce foreign competition and the national economy for their demise. For some Bethlehem employees, it's hard to look past the shocking news.
Don't rely on a corporation that don't want you, in a sense, and they don't care, you know. You're only a number.
American industry got hollowed out. We stopped building ships, automobiles, even medicine, and it crushed our dignity. It wounded the fabric of American life. This trade war is really a war for American independence.
President Trump will not repeat the trend of past American presidents who broke their promises to the American public and smiled while they stuck a knife in the back of American workers and shipped their jobs overseas.
Trump was elected in 2016 to save the working men and women of this country. And he got off to a great start. And then COVID hit. And we realized how vulnerable we are, relying on China for everything. Foreign supply chains in critical industries are a national security threat. And the golden age isn't going to happen if American companies don't come home. What's the Democrats' plan to do that? They don't have one. What's the Democrats' plan to lower foreign tariffs? They don't have one. The stock market was good under Biden because Joe never did anything. And the market liked certainty. And the market was certain Joe was asleep. No news, no new action. It was predictable. Wall Street did great. But how'd the American worker do? They got hammered by inflation and illegal immigration. And Trump was elected to correct this. And that's what he's doing. The tariffs are unpredictable. And the market hates that. They have to plan ahead. And they can't move factories back here like that. That takes time and money. And Wall Street has plenty of money, but the American worker doesn't have the time. And Canada especially has gotten a free ride for far too long. Trump's been trying to make them an offer they can't refuse. Quote, the only thing that makes sense is for Canada to become our cherished 51st state. This would make all tariffs and everything else totally disappear. Yesterday, our neighbors to the north decided they wanted to do things the hard way. They slapped a 25% tariff on electricity coming into the country, which would jack up utility prices in New York, Michigan, Minnesota. Trump hit back this morning, announcing he was doubling the tariffs on Canadian steel from 25% to 50%. The Canadians didn't like that, and they fired the first official shot of the American-Canadian war.
Let me be clear. I will not hesitate to increase this charge. If necessary, if the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely.
That's an act of war.
They cut it off before he said he would do it with a smile on his face. Did you hear her in her press conference just before, a few minutes before, how they do these things with a smile on their face? And I would like to have them include that in this. But anyway, Jesse said it was an act of war, but they've already folded. They've already folded.
That's like a utility company telling the Army base next door they're going to shut their power off. The Army base that protects them and everybody else in town. Trump couldn't believe it. He declared a national emergency on electricity. Quote, can you imagine Canada stooping so low as to use electricity that so affects the life of innocent people as a bargaining chip and threat? They will pay a financial price for this so big that it will be read about in history books for many years to come. The Canadians immediately called the White House and backed down.
As you know, there's a very strong man in Canada who said he was going to charge a surcharge or a tariff on electricity coming into our country. He has called and he said he's not going to do that. Okay, he's not going to do that. And it would have been a very bad thing if he did, and he's not going to do that, so I respect that.
Can you believe the nerve of Canada trying to pull our plug over a steel tariff, which is just a tactic Trump's using to renegotiate the USMCA that comes up for review next year?
It's directed at Canada. Because you look at Toyota, Toyota builds the RAV4 and some Lexus models up in Canada. Look, the RAV4 is wildly popular, one of the most popular vehicles sold here in the United States. So, you know, what this is the Trump administration saying to Canada, you think you have these plants? Think again. We want them down here.
The media won't tell you this, but major companies are pouring back into this country. Honda, Hyundai, Volvo, LG, Samsung, Stellantis, Volkswagen, the list goes on. American Steel loves what Trump's doing, and so do the Teamsters, who didn't endorse Kamala Harris.
It's almost comical if it didn't have an economic effect. It's like, you know, he puts the tariff in, he puts the tariff out, he puts the tariff in, he puts the tariff out, then he does the hokey pokey, and he turns us all around.
We're in a world of hurt. No matter what Donald Trump tells you, because he's nervous, he's scared, he's doing these interviews because he's trying to change the narrative, such negative news. We're in a recession. We are. And a dictatorship, but we're in a recession.
And it's going to be worse in the next couple of days and worse after that because he has started a trade war that we're going to lose. And it's unbelievable that his people believe in it.
A dictator triggered a recession by starting a trade war he's going to lose. That's the media's patriotic message. Well, I guess we should just go back to Bidenomics.
Yeah, the 5 weeks Trump was in there. Everything was great until Trump been in there for 5 weeks. This stuff is getting old.
Where life was so affordable and foreigners never invaded our country and stole our jobs and factories. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, says the economy needs to detox from Bidenomics.
The thing is that the markets aren't taken into account, my view, and I think this is pretty much backed up by everybody I'm speaking to, is that there's there's some goodies coming, right? Lower taxes, less regulation, less fentanyl in this country because we closed the borders, which is going to be good for the economy. Less immigration, which means you don't have illegal immigrants clouding our healthcare system. All this is happening right now, and it's not being factored into the market. So I would just say this, if you're looking at this sort of broadly, this is a puke. It
Technical term,
we need to get some of this out of our system.
Now, if you're retiring now, first of all, congratulations. You've experienced the greatest market run in civilization. Look at this chart from the 80s. If you put $100,000 in the market in 1980, didn't touch it, didn't even add to it, you'd retire today with $7 million. No one likes to lose money, but the Dow's basically flat since the election. I know, it's been about 4 months. It seems like longer. And Trump's not running for re-election, so he's doing the tough stuff that no other politician would ever do. Fight trade wars, buck Wall Street, cut spending, because it's in the long-term interest of the American people.
Mr. President, your comments the other day not ruling out a potential recession seemed to rattle the stock markets. The Commerce Secretary said there wouldn't be one.
Boom. Just so you know.
Just specifically on the recession.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a recession?
I don't see it at all. I think this country is going to boom. But as I said, I can do it the easy way or the hard way. The hard way to do it is exactly what I'm doing, but the results are going to be 20 times greater. And remember, Trump is always right.
And what do you say to Americans?
If you look at what I've said over the last 10 years, Trump has been right all the time. This is the way to do it.
Golden age. That's what we're looking at, folks.
The golden age. I saw where somebody said, "What's that woman doing with a man's voice and a man's haircut?" Here, I got something that I'll show you. A little spoof. So if you're watching this video after the live stream and this is not there, it's because I got in trouble. Maybe if I interrupt it while it's playing, I'll be all right. But here's Rachel Madcow.
I'm Rachel Maddow, and this is the Rachel Maddow Show. Recently, President Trump decided to make a black kid with cancer an honorary Secret Service agent. Personally, I think it's disgusting. If Trump really wanted to honor someone, he should have honored a black kid with cancer who's also gay and stands by Ukraine. Joining me to defend this behavior is John Fetterman. Go ahead, John.
Well, I don't see what the issue is, Rachel. I think our party's behavior was pretty deplorable that night.
So right-wing propaganda, that's all you have to say to defend this? You probably think that black kid with cancer is brave, is that it?
Well, yes, obviously.
That kid's not brave, John. Did he go through gender reassignment surgery? Is he Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Is he a fat chick? Is he a fatty, I have enormous jugs because I'm a fat chick? Those people are brave, John. Speaking of brave, I'd like to bring out my next guest, Al Green. That's right, Rachel. I will be impeaching the president again on the basis of dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done. Wow.
I just thought of something. Remember when I played that video where they said, who put up the scaffold in D.C.? Who put up the scaffold in D.C.? And they traced a guy with a cane. He walked from the FBI headquarters, met up with 3 or 4 guys, and all of them went up and put that scaffold up before the J and then 6 protests, right? And the man with the cane went right back to the FBI headquarters. He's the only one I know that's been making a scene with a cane. I don't know.
Wow. And what kind of dastardly deeds have been done?
Well, I was removed from Trump's speech because I'm a black man. And to add insult to injury, they honored a black child who has something called brain cancer. It's absolutely dastardly to imagine you have a disease.
Al, the cancer isn't imaginary. It's in his brain.
That is what I am saying. This child who has brain cancer is stealing Medicaid benefits from people whose diseases are not all in their mind. That is why we need to impeach the president again.
No, Al Green's not a senator. He's in the House of Representatives. I know Menendez is in jail for a while. I know Menendez is. Somebody else got arrested. But anyway, I just thought that'd be interesting if he's the one. If he's the one. Let me see what other clips I got. You want to talk about idiots. Here's some. Watch how he can't get 2 words out without being interrupted. But I got to give him credit. He hangs in there, but they're constant. It's like he kicks the side of a hen house. You know, they all start trying to talk. But anyway.
He's a resident alien. He can be deported under U.S. law for if the Secretary of State has any reasonable ground to believe he would have a potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequence. And you mentioned the student organization. The student organization put out.
Let me finish. But before you move on, because I think that's a really important point, right? That's the statute that they're using.
Yeah.
Have you seen any evidence to suggest that there is actually a serious reason to believe that this student is going to be a threat to to national security?
I mean, I've certainly watched the abomination that's gone on at Columbia and Barnard and other places, and I will just tell you,
threat to national security.
And I'll just tell you that
I'm not going to let you move on because this is.
I'll tell you why it's a threat to national security if you let me answer you.
Well, Scott,
do you want me to answer you or not?
Okay.
His organization says we are dedicated, fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization.
Okay.
He's not a citizen. He doesn't need to be here.
I don't want to. You just described him having viewpoints that you disagree with. Again, is that enough to have someone lose their rights in this country?
He has viewpoints that, in my opinion, jeopardize the security of the United States.
But how?
He is obviously a radical who is here to foment.
No, he's not a radical at all.
Violence against the United States government.
He wants to destroy Western civilization.
Against the United States government.
You're saying eradicate Western civilization doesn't make you a radical?
Has he acted in any way that is violence against the United States government, as you just said?
I think these protests and the violence they have fomented and the intimidation and fear against the Jewish kids on these campuses is absolutely an act of insurrection against the United States.
I don't think any American speech, Scott. That's enough.
Look, Look, what they have engaged in is a clear threat to the United States. And if you want the United States to be overrun by radicals the way Europe has, be my guest. But I think the president needs to stand up for the integrity of the United States.
What is the threat?
The threat of our country being, and our college campuses being overrun by radicals who are trying to run Jewish kids off of campuses and anybody else who disagrees. Yes, they are. In UCLA.
No,
at UCLA.
First of all,
they wouldn't even let them go to class.
First of all,
Columbia is an abomination.
First of all, there were violent counter protests at UCLA.
Look at this idiot with a cowboy hat and a gold chain. And, you know, this is so great that this is on CNN because there's so few other places for these blue sky people to go to. And you'd have to be irrational not to agree that this guy is a problem and got to go. But anyway, listen to this moron.
UCLA that were done by Jewish organizations.
No, both sides. Anti-Semitism is a scourge on this country. Do not
absolutely is that it is not clear that this particular student has engaged in the specific actions that he was talking about. And you've shown me no evidence of that either.
Okay, well, guess what? He is not a citizen. If he were a citizen, I might feel differently. He's a guest in this country.
Okay.
It's my view,
in other
and
words,
it's the Trump administration.
But it doesn't matter.
No, I didn't walk in here with my gumshoe investigative case, Abby. But here's what I do think: this guy's running an organization at Columbia that has ruined 2 solid years of people's lives.
Deported based on allegations that you have not substantiation.
I think he should be deported based on what the Trump administration has already identified. He is a threat to the national security.
But here's his affiliation.
Statute you quoted. It's an obscure statute, old statute that's being used, is about being against U.S. foreign policy, right? So, for example, when I was part of protests in Miami, when the Clinton administration and Janet Reno returned Elian Gonzalez to Cuba, is that...
Were you trying to eradicate Western civilization?
No, I was trying to stop the U.S. government, and I was protesting against what the U.S. government did.
Were you occupying buildings?
I was protesting.
Were you fomenting violence?
I was doing what that...
Were you inciting others to engage in violence?
I was doing what that statute
said. Were you chasing
I was
people
against
around?
U.S. foreign policy.
Were you intimidating people?
Okay, we were shutting down streets.
My view is that we're Western civilization. This guy's on the wrong side of it, and he don't need to be in a fight for the future of Westerns. Need to be here.
He don't need to be here. He don't need to be here. That's exactly right. Well, anyway, let's see. I got another video here that you guys will enjoy. And I want to thank everybody who went to buy me a coffee and helped out with the show this week. Bev and Mike and Chairman of the Board, Gary, and Miss Bender Sue and Angela. I do appreciate it. I got a link in the description if anybody wants to help support the channel, as this is a totally viewer-supported channel. I think you'll like this last video here. It's only a couple minutes long. I'll play it on the way out. But I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow night. And if you are subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live.
So make sure you do that and give me a thumbs up. It helps the video get around, folks. How about that? I appreciate it so much. So you all have a great night. Enjoy this little clip, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
I will snatch their cabinet so that we will take over. And yes, we can do that.
And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food. It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more. Equitable distribution.
Don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness.